It used to bother me that people who are liberal thought I was conservative, and people who are conservative thought I was liberal. It used to like make me try not to be seen as the opposite. Not that it kept me up at night, but it definitely kept me in a place where I just want to keep my mouth shut. I just want to stop trying, like to do anything and just like live my own peaceful reality, blah, blah, blah. It kept me ineffective in the world. And it's like hilarious now. But what kept me from just speaking my mind? I was so worried. I was so trapped in this. I didn't like. I wish that, I wish that liberal people wouldn't think conservatives were horrible, bad, greedy, blah, blah, blah. I knew it was all part of this whole, fake two-party system created by oligarch bankers. I was like, oh, they keep falling for it. And then conservatives thought liberalism is a mental disorder or whatever. So they have these, you just go on Twitter, you can see the opinions that each side has about the other. And, of course, echo chambers are created. But no one is 100% right and no one's 100% wrong. They both have, it's like this huge puzzle. The world, the reality, the true reality is like this huge puzzle where some liberal, the liberal echo chamber has a bunch of the pieces of the puzzle. The conservative echo chamber has a bunch of pieces of the puzzle. The people who don't give a crap at all about any politics at all have a chunk of the puzzle pieces, and then just leave a fourth group open for people who don't fit in to any of the other three categories. And at United Airlines, nobody gets into flying jets so that they can go to like a, Marriott for the weekend to sit in a room and be like talked at about cooperating and getting along. But we had to do this thing because United Airlines had a flight, Sioux City, I think it was 232, but anyway, they lost the jet capabilities that there is no fix for. So they were on the line with maintenance and they said, this is what we've lost. What do we do? Because it's not in the manual, it's not in the book, it's not in any of the checklists. And maintenance was even like, oof, I don't know. So what they did was they asked for, there was pilots, there was a pilot sitting in the back. I think his name was Denny, I don't know. There was pilots sitting in the back that just either had a feeling or whatever. They offered their service and they all worked together to bring this Sioux City flight down. And I know I'm not this, but this, listening to the cockpit voice recording of this Sioux City flight, listening to them talking to each other. And they're alive because the video that we had to watch started out with the pilots alive talking about it. But when you listen to the voice recording, it's so harrowing. And they got cleared to land. They got cleared to land on runway something. And the captain goes, you want me to land on a runway? And it's so funny. It's so cool. And then when I was a charter pilot, I had a family of 5 on board and I lost all my electrics. Much smaller version of that, I lost all my electrics. And no pilot wants to declare an emergency because it's just paperwork and it's so stupid, And people look back at those things, they say, oh, why didn't they just declare an emergency? That was so dumb. But it's like when you're in it, You don't want to declare an emergency. It's like you're in denial. You don't want it to be an emergency. You don't want to declare an emergency. So I used to tell my students, ask for priority handling. Don't be afraid to ask for priority handling. Because you won't have to declare an emergency and deal with that being in your reality. Just ask for priority handling. Request priority handling. And they'll go, okay, and it's like a great code for, I don't want to declare an emergency, but one may be on the horizon, so they know. Anyway, I lost all my electrics, blah, 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 and then it finally came back, whatever, and I was on final approach right before air traffic controller that had helped me, through, he says, will you marry me? It was like, of course it's ridiculous. It's like, it's just an acknowledgement. It's so Zen though, because it's so like a koan, like these things in Zen, if the student asks a question to the master, if it's a vague question, the master gives a specific answer. And if it's a specific question, the master gives a vague answer. And it's like, it points to the ridiculousness. Anyway, it used to bother me. It used to bother me how Republicans and Democrats fought against each other and look like they're hating each other. But today everything changed. And I put a big ass post on Renegade Yogi. I guess I can read it. It's like, okay, well, where it started was one of my friends posted something about breastfeeding, the dangers of calling breastfeeding natural, or okay, it's called, are there unintended consequences? Well, so then I looked it up. Hers was just a post, almost like a meme, now they're anti-breastfeeding, calling it natural. You're not supposed to call it natural anymore. So I looked it up. I Googled it, and I found a CNN.com article. Are there unintended consequences to calling breastfeeding natural? And I was like, oh, this ought to be good. Let me see. So I started reading it, and then I didn't read the whole thing because I didn't need to read the whole thing, but this post just came at me with that. So I put that at the bottom. A pair of experts are warning against pushing breastfeeding as natural, and all these laughing faces. If I can only accomplish one thing with this group, let it please be that you keep your sense of humor. Joy, healing is 540, anger's 150, and fear's 100. Whenever you hear experts are warning, relax, calm and center, and get the popcorn ready for the bullshit coming. Experts warning people, not just women, against the dangers of following their own intuition is just AFGO, another growth opportunity. And then rhymes with bass fighting, smash fighting. If you allow this shit, I can't find the poop emoji, to piss you off, or worse, scare you, if you let it take your vibration down, you are giving your power away, as the New Agers would say. It is your own ego letting it happen, talking you into believing stories that will create shit for yourself, reacting like the fool from the Tao and Dan Millman's book, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Instead of acting, sometimes requires fighting for high vibe expanded consciousness, like the peaceful warrior in his book, or the sage equals the wise person from the Tao. See? Use the bullshit to create high vibe. Push off from the bullshit. Silence is the best response to nonsense because you control your own heart and mind. You manage your resources of time, energy, and money the best way possible. Equals more time in the meat suit. Nothing is happening to you. It's all happening for you. The you that is the sacred, divine Brahman self. No mud, no lotus, Thich Nhat Hanh. Without pain and drama, you would never get to see your own peaceful, powerful self. Enjoyed the pain, what my teacher would say. Thank you, Dami Kim. I choose to live a high vibrational, spirit-directed life, and so it is. All my relationships support the growth of my eternal, peaceful, powerful soul. Everything is happening for me, empowered mindset, not to me, victim mindset. Do not give your peace away. You work hard for that in meditating, focusing your mind on what you want. The new paradigm / 5D, or whatever name it is finding its way into your reality, it's all about focusing on what you want. Some say going back to basics to make a point, but it's still forward. It just creates an ease and a joy of doing chores. I think it's Buddhism that speaks of being and allowing the action to arise. Then all you are doing, chores, eating, showering, ... becomes a meditation. It is not the same. It's not the same if you don't work for it. It cannot show up as easy, or you would never have epiphanies and moments of profound understanding, enlightenment moments. And then there's like like enlightenment flash or something from the I Am Consciousness book series. That's what he said it. I forget what he said, never mind. But the I Am Consciousness book series, 6 books, is great. If it was easy, it would mean far less. By doing the work, which is what Hugh Del Conso and Holistic Learning Centers in New Jersey, he stresses all the time, these people, they say, it's hard, it's hard, it's hard. And he stresses doing the work, So I'm saying, by doing the work, you make it easy. You are still living in the world, but you are not identified as being of the world. You play at life and chores. By allowing the peaceful, powerful spirit to direct your life, watching as ego gives its input, you move in and out of expanded consciousness, up and down on the vibrational scale. Nothing is good or bad, it just is. This is a life well lived. It is your painting, your individual self-expression, the self being your divine spark of eternal consciousness, playing in the world with all other divine sparks of eternal consciousness who are also in the world but not of it. But some of them do not know this or have any availability to this awareness. But they are still okay. When you zoom out far enough, none of this matters anyway. So enjoy the game, no matter how zoomed in or out you go. So when I said, some of them, so some people do not know this or have any availability to this awareness. Some people truly believe that that the mainstream media is really working in their highest best interest. They don't follow the money. They don't listen to conspiracy theorists. They just write them off as crazy. They call it crap in the head, whatever. They don't do any research at all. They just trust that Rachel Maddow and Chris Cuomo are just going to give them all the truth that exists. Okay? And so then people who are paying attention, who do follow the money, or who do say, do you know this and this? Look how this connects. Look how these people connect. Oh my God, it all goes back to this. Oh my God, 6 corporations run 90% of all the media. Conspiracy theorists. It's actually not. I mean, nobody's 100% right. Nobody's 100% wrong. Okay. So if everybody just listened with a high vibration or with a vibration of peace and everyone just listened, we could instantly change the whole world into what we all want. But they get trapped in the lower vibrations and they allow someone else to control their heart and mind. They allow, hating to be seen as loving. They allow a reality that's completely false, that you can hate your way to a loving world. That's completely false. It's impossible. But they buy it, and they hate, and they're so self-righteous. That's what's happening now. The people who are super self-righteous, they're so right and so wrong at the same time. They think they're right. How many executive orders is it going to take before you have to look and say, okay, you remember when we thought the other one was a dictator? Well, I don't know how many it's going to take. It doesn't really matter because it's all part of this show. It's zoom out and it's just hilarious. Don't take it personally. I used to worry about this crap. I used to worry. All right. So whoever's not available for your reality, you're worried about them. You worry about them. It's like, they're still okay. You just zoom out farther. It doesn't matter. All this could go away. It could all just go away. What are you fighting for? You know, people are clinging to life, but they're not living. They're just fighting each other. I mean, that's the experience that they're creating. They're just fighting. Okay. But if I fight the fighting, if I try and stand between two people that want to fight, I have to stay there all the time, use my time, energy, money to say, please stop fighting, stop fighting. I'm in the fight. I'm part of it. I'm allowing my time in this meat suit to be used in keeping sides that want to fight apart. What is the point? I'm wasting my own time, energy, and money. Okay? So, but those people who are fighting, they're okay. They're okay. They can go to the grave, the Hatfields and the McCoys. In hang gliding, we had two people who both had, well, one guy kind of ran things. Someone else had a problem with it. They owned land right next to each other. Let's just speed this story along. And the two hated each other but lived right next door. They lived right next to each other. They had property right next to each other. And in hang gliding, you need wind. You can't keep a hang glider up in the sky without wind. So one guy planted trees to screw the other guy, and the other guy did this to screw the other guy, and it's like we all suffered. So all the hang glider pilots, like, we don't want you to plant trees for us to smash into. I mean, I didn't, most people didn't, but the trees stop the wind. And if the wind stops, so does the hang gliding. I wish I did my hair. Anyway, so in this we called it the Hatfields and McCoys, even though it's just two guys. Between the Hatfields and the McCoys fighting, they screwed all of us, all the hang glider pilots. And you know, when I was new on the scene, I was like, still trying to, how can we fix this? Because it was bullshit. It was like, there's a whole lot of bullshit coming out. I'm sparing you a lot of details, but it was years. But the seasoned pilots that had been there, watched the fight start, go through, they would just say to me, don't worry about it. I'm like, well, can we? And they're like, don't worry about it. And